Welcome back to Leveling Up Women's Health. I am Monica.
And I am Heidi.
And we are back again for another episode. This time, we are going to be talking about bone health.
Yes.
And obviously osteoporosis and the risks of that as we age. But what can we do to help avoid some of that bone loss? And there are things that we can do. But first, we're going to do a true or false. All right. Heidi, ready?
Yep.
True or false? Just take some extra calcium and your bones are going to be okay.
I'm laughing because there's so many women that think that is true, but it is actually false.
I know. And I feel like that myth should be already gone, but it's not.
No. Well, and some medical people, nothing against medical people, but they'll tell you just bump up your calcium, and that is not what you need to do.
Right. You do need calcium.
Right.
We're not going to deny that,
Right,
we do need some calcium.
Right.
But first, maybe we should shower you with some statistics.
Yeah. So our peak muscle mass is in our 20s and 30s.
Sure.
And it starts declining 3 to 8% in our 40s because of menopause, because of lifestyle. That's muscle mass. Now, everybody goes through menopause differently, different age, whatever. So that's that 3 to 8%.
Right.
But after 50, we could be down 20% of our muscle mass because of our estrogen. We don't have estrogen anymore, which those numbers to me were, wow. The other thing that I found to be shocking was 1 out of 2 women will be diagnosed with osteoporosis in their aging years.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
Yeah.
That's almost disturbing.
Very
1
disturbing.
Of 2? My gosh. And we're not, excluding men, but it is predominantly.
Yeah, no, men can have osteoporosis
they can have it,
too, yeah.
but it is predominantly a woman's issue.
And it's because we go through that menopause, girls.
Isn't that fun?
Yeah.
Menopause. Yay. Another interesting statistic is that after menopause, after you get through, the next 5 to 7 years is women will lose up to 20% of their bone mass. That's
a huge number.
That's so much. So, and the muscles and the bones work together.
Yep.
So the strength training that we talked about in the one episode, it's like a marriage. You have to strength train for your muscles because your muscles put pressure on the bones, and you're putting the right kind of pressure on the bones through the strength training to strengthen the bone. Mm-hmm. And all like very symbiotic. I like that word. I just really wanted to work that word in today.
It's a good word.
It is a good word. So Heidi, tell us a little bit more about the effects of osteoporosis.
Well, I have some women in my club that have been diagnosed with osteoporosis, and there's osteopenia. There's all different kinds of it. You should definitely get your levels checked by a doctor. You should definitely see where you are. But you can, I'm not saying you're going to make it go away, okay? Because that's kind of how God gave us. He took away our estrogen. You can do supplements, but you can reverse it. And I'm sure you have many clients. I have several that have reversed their osteoporosis, meaning in a year when they go back, their numbers have changed and they've gotten better.
For the better, not for the worse.
Exactly.
Yes, very often. And I work with a lot of senior women.
Yes.
And it is very true.
Yes. So Monica, they come to my classes, and my classes help a little bit. But honestly, they are getting more help on our training floor with the weights. So can we talk about the weights and how important it is for weight training as we age?
Absolutely. So when you start lifting a weight, whether it's a squat with some weights or a leg press or even bicep curls or standing shoulder press or any of those things, you are stressing the muscle and stressing the bone. And what happens is the repair of that stress, it's good stress, not our bad stress, it's good stress, it builds new. That's when your muscle hypertrophies or gets bigger and your bones repair by adding new bone. So you are effectively making your bones stronger and obviously your muscles stronger. Now, you can do that. It doesn't mean you have to, be a power lifter. This is not, we're not telling you to go and all of a sudden, leg press 500 pounds. It's not that. It's stressing your bones the right way. So you want to get somebody to help you with that.
Right.
You want to build the program, obviously, but we need to do some, you need to lift something to have that stress on those the musculoskeletal system.
Yeah.
So, a great way to do it. I saw it. Heidi just purchased a weighted vest.
I did. It's nice out, and I walk all the time.
And walking is great stress on the bones. It really is. Adding that little weighted vest, you're going to add a little. Do you get it? You're adding more stress into the body, and as you take each step. She's added, I think it's probably a 20-pound vest. Most of them are. Like they're 10 pounds, 20 pounds.
I don't know.
But
I'm not sure what
she's adding that extra stress. And especially if you are a slight or slender woman who is aging, and there's a lot of that where you see these women who are very, very thin in their 60s and 70s. They're very at risk. So adding that little bit of extra weight is super helpful. And so strength training, walking with a weighted vest, for those who can run, you can run.
Okay, but
I don't like to run.
I don't either. It hurts my knees. Let's talk about, because a lot of women's like, well, I don't really want to go to the gym, which we talked before about getting a trainer. But if they don't want to do that, what can they do at home that can help?
Weights, buy a couple sets of weights, buy some exercise tubes. They are the ones with the handles on them. They're the resistance tubes.
Yeah.
Leg bands that you wear. Stress that muscle in some way. Taking stairs up and down. Carry one weight up and down the stairs.
That's a good
Hold on to
idea.
the railing with the other hand. But, stress your body in different ways. You can easily do squats. You could even hold, if you don't have weights, but you have a 5-pound bag of flour, hold that 5-pound bag of flour and do some squats with it. Stress that body a little bit in like I said, in a good way. And there are a lot of videos out there that can show you how to do it without a lot of equipment. You can check out some of my videos. I do have about 80 videos on YouTube, and they're all under the Monica method. And there are a lot of strength ones, and they're designed for people who don't have a lot of equipment at home, but you're putting the appropriate stresses.
So you're saying there's really no excuse.
There's never an excuse. I always tell people, okay, and I kind of laugh saying that. People go, well, I was on vacation, or I didn't have a gym available, or I didn't have this or that. I'm like, give me a chair, and I can show you 42 exercises to do with a chair. And there's actually a video on there that does a wall. Nothing at all, just your body. There is always a way to get that exercise in. And strength training is one great way of making sure that we're preventing osteopenia or osteoporosis and, the muscle disintegration. But we also need to eat a nutrient-rich diet. We keep talking about that. And we're going to talk a little bit more about the nutrients you need, and Heidi's going to kind of take the lead on that.
Well, vitamin D is huge. We brought up this thing about calcium. The thing about calcium is calcium needs vitamin D to help absorb it.
Yes.
So we don't get enough vitamin D. Again, I'm always saying get your levels checked. But, we live in Indiana. We are just now seeing the sunshine, right?
Yes, and it's not that strong enough yet to even give us the vitamin D.
And honestly, to get your vitamin D in during the day, and yes, you need sunscreen, but you need to be outside in the sun 10 minutes a day. Well, I don't get that. And our lifestyles are such that we're working in offices, we're working on computers. We don't get that. So strongly suggest you get your levels checked. And if you are low in vitamin D, definitely use a supplement. What low vitamin D can do is it can accelerate bone loss, fracture risk. Okay, so as we age, we're going to be a whole nother series about balance.
Balance. Oh, yes.
And I make my ladies stand on one leg all the time. But balance is key. And if you get off balance and you fall and you catch yourself with your wrist and your bone density is low, what are you going to do? you're going to break your wrist. So
Or worse.
or you
Shoulder.
break, yeah.
You're all the way, I've seen lots of bad falls.
Yes, and low vitamin D is also accelerates muscle weakness.
Yes.
So, but vitamin D and magnesium go hand in hand.
Yep.
So you need both of those. Again, they pair with each other to help activate each other. So the buzzword has always been calcium, which again,
You need it.
We need it,
Of course.
but you also need the vitamin D and the magnesium.
And then to really round that out, protein.
Yes.
Once again, we talk a lot about protein because it is important.
It's very important.
And I think a lot of people, as they age too, not so much in their 40s and 50s, but sometimes you get in your 60s, 70s, and 80s, and you're just not eating as much.
Nope.
And so you're
not as
your
hungry.
protein, right? And your protein is really low.
Yeah.
And I'm constantly telling my 90-year-old mom, what did you have for breakfast? And she'll say, piece of toast. Still not protein, Mom. We need protein. You have to have an egg with that toast. You got to get your protein in. So I know we kind of hammered that a lot, but it is important.
we'll probably keep hammering it.
Oh, yes.
The other thing is cortisol. So cortisol is that stress hormone that we have. And when you have too much of it, well, that's a whole nother topic, but that's what's kind of giving you that visceral belly fat. Mm-hmm. But a lot of cortisol in your system, that stress hormone that we don't want, it breaks down our muscle tissue and our bones. So that stress level is also something that we need to watch. And you guys, sleep. Sleep is so important because that's where we repair our muscles and our bones.
Yes, that's when all the repair work that you've stressed the bones, the good stress, not the stress she's talking about, that's when it starts to repair and you get stronger and healthier. So you do need your sleep. We're going to do a whole episode on sleep, though.
Yeah.
Because it is critical. And I think anybody going through menopause can say, I miss it.
I think anybody that has a child can say that.
Yeah, that's true, too.
I miss that
I
sleep.
really miss that sleep.
And-
That was fun when he used to be able to sleep like that,
And, we have adult children now, and I don't know about you, but I'm still lay awake going, I wonder if he made it to wherever he's going. It's just like, I think as women, as moms, that's not true. I get a good night's sleep because I work on it, but
You have to work on
You
it.
have
I
to
think that's
work
the
on
point,
it.
is we have to work on getting good night's sleep, too, like anything else.
I know people will make fun of me, like my kids will make fun of me and said, well, we know quiet time is like 8 o'clock for you, Mom. And I'm like, yeah, because I have to wind down. We're going to talk about all that stuff. But yeah, it's like we just kind of bring it down a notch so that you can sleep. So.
Absolutely. And so that's part of that, when she was talking about the cortisol levels and what it can be detrimental. It really is detrimental to so many things, but bone health is one of them.
Yep.
So the more that we can, decompress, get a quality night's sleep, and reduce those cortisol levels, it's just going to be one additional step to better bone health.
Yes. And weight training.
Yes. And and that's what this podcast is all about, is like, okay, what little things can we do? How can we level up that health a little bit more, right?
Yes. And what I would say to you guys is we would welcome consulting with you guys. If you guys need some help with what can I do, reach out to us because we can help you. That's what we do all day long.
All day long.
So, reach out to us because we can definitely give you some suggestions. So
I think one of our takeaways today really would be, I think our two takeaways, important, these are both important, is movement. Mm-hmm. Come on, a little bit. It's not going to kill you. In fact, it's going to help you. A little bit of strength training, a little bit of resistance training, in whatever form that you can get that in. And like I said, if you feel really lost, hire a professional. Mm-hmm. You would hire a professional to do your roof.
exactly.
Right? To make sure the structure of your house is good. This is the structure of your body. Hire a professional to help you, even if it's just for a short time. Mm-hmm. And then making sure you get the right supplements, the vitamin D with the calcium, with magnesium, that all go hand in hand.
Yep.
And that work to preserve our bone health and, integrity. So I think those are your big two takeaways. And, we're not trying to overwhelm you with any of this. We're trying to break it down so that it's not overwhelming.
Exactly. But to give you hope that it is possible to, I'm not saying it's going to go away, but to reverse it.
Yeah. and make those numbers better.
Yeah.
And it is a real problem. I mean, a hip fracture, if you fall on a hip fracture, that's a hard one to recover from.
Very hard, yeah.
So and any surgery or any, fracture is hard to recover from, but, the weaker our bones are, the more susceptible we're going to be to that.
Yep.
So,
well, hopefully we gave you something to think about, something that you could add to your daily, lifestyle that can help get that bone strength up.
absolutely. And we love hearing from you. So please, reach out anytime. And I think that I'm excited for a sleep one. I think we're going to have to get that one done pretty soon. I really do, and I think a lot of women will be very interested in that one. So we're gonna put that one on the books for really soon, because that is an important thing. Now I'm really my brain's moving all over. But in the meantime, we're gonna say goodbye.
Yes, we are. So we are grateful that you guys are following us. We're grateful that you share our podcast, and we just want to help you guys level up your health.
You got it, girl. From Monica and Heidi.
See you later.
Bye.